The capacitor has two of them built in, a baby one, a small one, like 5 microfarad. There will be a common connection, and then a fan connection, usually brown, and then usually your run winding here. So we have common, run, fan. If your fan stops working, the fan side of this capacitor died. These are really cheap. Sometimes you'll have two capacitors, a little one and a big one. The big one will only have 2 connections. That will be for the compressor. It will be labeled HERM for hermetic. The other will be fan. The word fan is written here, so your fan wire goes here. It's brown, okay? This is labeled as common or C. This guy back here is labeled as HERM. It's printed on the top of the capacitor. If you, yeah, once you learn how to read a schematic, you can look at them, and here is your capacitor. H, HERM. He goes to the line and your compressor. F, fan. He's brown. You see brown, BR right there. And then we have yellow and violet here. And that's how they're connected. It's pretty straightforward. Just know that these guys go bad quite often. Okay. Next that you have, again, we have a coil, a fan, a compressor, a capacitor to help them run efficiently and start. And then we have a contactor. Here is a fantastic example of something that can be very dangerous. Take your disconnect and either kill it or pull it out. Depends on the type of disconnect you have. There's probably about 5 or 6 different kinds out there. The ones you pull out, you can turn upside down and put back in, and it's dead. Turn it over and put it back in, it's live. It'll shunt power to device, okay? That's what they're meant to do. Just make a connection.
Like on the outside of the house, whatever, same box.
Correct, just like this.
Yeah.
And then usually you can open these guys. We have them locked out so you can't power it up accidentally. This is a contact. It's a relay. It's a solenoid that gets 24 volts from your furnace when your air conditioning is supposed to turn on. 24 volts comes in here. You check for 24. Say your unit's not coming on. First thing I do, check power. Do I have power coming in here, right here?
The cable.
Here to here, 240 volts. Here to ground, 120. Here to ground, 120. Okay? If I've got 24, if I've got 240 across here, and I have nothing here, that means that this guy is dead. Change him. If you want to turn him on manually, push this in. The contacts are touching now, and it's hot. This particular contactor here is unusual.
Why?
Because, remember we talked about heaters for compressors, crankcase heaters? This one does not have it. How do I know? The contactor.
The wiring?
The wiring on this contactor. Do you see how I'm only seeing one set of contacts right here?
Yeah.
This side has nothing. It has a shunt. See that that bar that runs right up here?
Yeah.
This unit is half hot all the time. There's a trickle current running through it to keep the compressor warm. If you don't throw this disconnect, unit is off, and you stick your hand somewhere, guess what? You're going to complete this connection. And because this is live.
And
this side is
240.
live. You got it. You just probably really hurt yourself or killed yourself.
Yeah.
If I was like this and I did this, it's going to go right across my heart and probably stop it. I'm a dead duck. So
Yeah.
when you do this, be so careful. Don't guess at what you're doing. Know what you're doing. I always wear good gloves. There's special gloves that are electrically rated. You should have those, but if you don't, just be very, very careful. Work with another person, always. I yelled at a guy at work. He was standing on the top of a ladder working on a VAV box. I said, you moron, you're on the 40th floor. If you fell off that effing ladder and nobody was here, you'd be laying there, you may have died. And
Did
don't
anyway, bro.
ever
Yeah.
do that. Work with another person, okay?
Then you do electric.
Right, same, electric, heights, you can't mess around. And that's all you really have here. This is your whip.